So rather than getting little snacks every night, I can, you know, plug it in for sort of 18 hours once a week kind of thing, you know.
At home, yeah. So that's obviously probably fairly cheap.
Yeah.
And one day you might get a house with solar on, you never know.
Yeah, yeah.
But probably not at the moment.
I'm just having a quick think. Have you got 10 minutes? We can hopefully find a little bit.
I've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
We're on an adventure.
And what else is happening? Well, I guess more broadly in New Zealand, we've got a government that should now be deliberating about the clean car policy. So
yeah,
we are told to expect by the end of this year that the proposals to reduce the cost of buying an electric car, and of course put some fee on buying a high emitting, high polluting vehicle.
Yeah.
Those proposals should be firmed up coming reasonably soon.
So that could be like $3,000 for the heaviest emitting petrol vehicles.
Yeah.
And $8,000 off the more expensive electric vehicles.
Yep.
So for instance, at the current prices, you could probably get a Model 3 Tesla, a Standard Plus. You might even be able to change the colour, and that's about it. You can't really get too much more than that. You can't get full standard driving. But I actually did the numbers, and I figured out if you're actually getting kind of like a rebate or a discount of $8,000, you can probably afford to do full self-driving later, even though it's going to cost you more.
Right. Yeah.
For the same money, basically. What is this?
So this is called the Stealth Performance.
Stealth Performance, what does that mean?
Well, so it comes out in a sort of a standard, or what they call a Standard Range Plus, and a Performance model. Those are the two main models that are available.
Yep.
And at the point where I put my deposit and then finalised the order, those were just basically the two models available. And then what happened subsequently was that you could then pick between three models.
Yeah.
So you'd have the basic, then the long range, which has a bigger battery to go further.
Yeah.
And then they kind of came out with a more explicit performance model, which has more kind of cosmetic changes. So this vehicle is essentially the same as the more glitzy performance model, but it just doesn't have the wheels and a few things that make it externally look like it has performance. So the nickname for it, it's not the official name, the nickname for it is the Stealth Performance.
So you bought it at when things were changing a little?
Yeah, well that was basically the initial offer. So
okay.
You could either go basic or you could go higher spec. And
what was standard? Was it basic or standard?
Standard Range Plus.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I actually don't think there's much wrong with the Standard Range Plus. I think it looks really well spec'd.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, if you're the kind of person that needs to have the performance available, but it's a bit more expensive. It's $94,000, I think, from memory.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah. So I was
which is outside of the proposed rebate scheme.
Yeah. So I was, more attracted to the distance rather than the acceleration characteristics in terms of getting this model.
So do you know how big the battery is? Can you guess?
Yeah, it's about 75 kilowatt hours.
Yeah, that'll be right. Which is ample for a car of this size.
Yeah.
It's about, would you say it's about the size of a Toyota Corolla, or it's a bit bigger?
Well, it's sort of deceptive because the external dimensions are still reasonably modest, but the kind of internal space you have
it's comfortable.
Is quite big. So like you're getting a little bit extra headroom because it's glass roof, for instance.
Yeah.
You've got, lots of space in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's still, the width of it is still such that in the back, you'd want to be sort of medium rather than sort of large size adults, and if it's three across. But basically, it's actually quite a roomy vehicle inside. But I'd say, it's definitely similar to a kind of Mazda 6 or a Toyota, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say maybe more like a Camry, but you know, like it's a bit deceptive because you've got more room inside than you might imagine.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if I turn right around here, then we've got a little bit of 100 k's an hour action, depending on what's going on with traffic at this time.
Back towards the tunnel or to the...
Yeah, back to the tunnel. Yeah.
Okay. Or to the terrace.
Yeah. Oh, well, it depends on how
we go.
How we go. I need to sort of give myself, these people, a little bit of space. But if I just pause for a sec, and then you ready?
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
So that was 100, and we didn't even get to the motorway. You know, we were still on the slip road. We'll stay on the terrace because going into that tunnel, it's very clogged up. So there we go. You only needed, well, I don't actually know how many metres we traversed at that point, but not many to get up to 100 k's an hour.
Yeah, the camera didn't enjoy it much. I remember when I got a ride in the first Model S at Steve's place. I was filming him just like I'm filming you. Yeah. And I was using a small camera.
Yeah.
And my head actually hit the back of the seat rather hard.
So maybe a few curse words were accidentally recorded, huh?
No. I've got much more control than that. Are you going to go in there or?
Oh no, I guess I could, but I'm sort of in the wrong lane now. I'm just thinking what else we've got there. So we've got this.
Yep.
We've got. There's lots of funny modes. I'll show you what my kids enjoy. Hold on. So if I go like this.
Huh.
So now it's emissions testing mode. So if I indicate.
Oh, right.
It makes disgusting fart sounds.
They must think it's hilarious.
So that hasn't grown boring yet. The kids love that.
Yeah, it never gets old.
And you know, it's you don't actually indicate terribly often, so it often can just sort of surprise you if that's been left on. So it's quite a funny, like, my kids are sort of thinking, well, you know, this car has all of these sort of quite serious characteristics to it in terms of being environmentally friendly and the performance and all the rest of it, and yet Tesla has this brand where they can have a bit of fun and have these sort of games.
Yeah, it's really quirky.
Sort of gimmicks in it.